Hey guys, it's Bees. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. Things have been hectic, holiday season and everything. But let's just start this video here of a run of a Temple of the Jade Serpent, plus 12 in the background. And we'll talk about just Mythic Plus in general and just what I've been doing and what's going on with the channel. So, first off, I usually, through my whole WoW history, have played healer classes. Holy Priest, Resto Druid, Resto Shaman at the end of Shadowlands. But then coming into Dragonflight, our guild had too many healers, and I leveled up an Invoker, and I was just having fun on my Invoker, both as DPS and healer, and the guild was just like, hey, Spees, you're doing so well DPSing on your Invoker. Why don't you just become a DPS and become a backup healer? So then I had to switch my focus from my Resto Druid over to my Invoker and kind of have to learn how to do Invoker DPS. And I'm not doing so well here in these dungeons. This pug group went a little crazy with this first pull here. But yeah, I'm still kind of learning how to DPS as evoker. So that's another reason why I haven't been making videos, because I thought I was going to be making Resto Druid videos with preservation evoker on the side, but now I'm a DPS for my guild, and I have to learn how to do that. And I don't want to make videos about how to DPS because I don't feel like I'm that great at it yet. Maybe I will make a casual person's guide to Devastation Invoker. At least get the the basics of it. But I swear I'm still not still don't have a full grasp of it. But anyways, so Temple Jade Serpent, this is just a plus 12. I found a pug. I was just trying to get in. They somehow accepted me as DPS, so I'm here DPSing, which I'm totally fine with because, man, these dungeons this season, but they're hard. I think they're way harder than the Shadowland dungeons were in Season 1. Now, I did kind of predict that going from Shadowland Season 4 to Dragonflight Season 1 is going to be a big wake-up call to people, because even going from the end of BFA, the last season of Mythic Plus, into Shadowland Season 1 was a very hard adjustment, because, first off, you lose all that power you had at the end of the last expansion. BFA, you had all the essences, you had the right armor and everything, and then you just had like the really high level gear that was giving you an insanely high haste and crit and versatility compared to the start of the season. And then you go into the next expansion and you lose all that power from the borrowed powered system. Plus you also, oh geez, jeez. You lose all that borrowed power, but you also lose that insane haste and versatility, crit rate. So it's just a big wake-up call, and it's happening again at the start of Dragonflight. Now, the talent systems do give you a lot of power that we might not have at the start of the last few expansions that had a borrowed powered system. So you feel more powerful because you can switch around to these different talents that are really powerful. But everyone just has dog poop, gear, especially the first week of Mythic. So that's reason one why Mythic feels so hard in Dragonflight. I mean, number two, they also buff once you start going from, I think it's higher than 10, so if you go from a 10 to an 11, it's a plus 10% increase to all stats for the enemy, instead of an 8% like it is between levels 1 through 10. So, they've actually made it a little bit harder to go from 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 13. So, of course, at level 18 now is definitely the mobs have a higher percent than a level 18 did in past Mythic Pluses. And at the same time, goddamn, these dungeons, the trash in these dungeons are just insane. Now, this is Temple of the Jade Serpent. It is a old dungeon, so they felt like they had to add more trash packs, especially near the end of the dungeon. And man, these trash packs, they suck. And then also the 4 new dungeons from Dragonflight, it just seems like every pool has like, oh, this guy's doing a frontal, this guy's doing a big circle around you that mainly you have to run out. This guy has an interrupt, this guy has a cast that can't be interrupted, you have to stun it or knock him back. And that's every pack, it feels like. So Blizzard has turned out what's going on in every trash pack 2 to 11 in this expansion. And it's just... Then you start adding the seasonal fixes on top of it. Or not even the seasonal fixes, just the regular fixes. You have, Grievous and Sanguine and Storming and whatever. And then let's get to the new seasonal fix. Now, usually seasonal fixes before just added either a new enemy inside a trash mob group, or mini bosses inside the dungeons. So, sure, it added more time because there was more things to kill, mini bosses, or more trash in the trash pack, or harder trash inside the trash pack. So Blizzard decided to do something different and not add a seasonal fix that added more mobs to kill, which is great. It's something different. I give you props, Blizzard, for trying something different. But this seasonal fix, Thundering, just feels like a very glorified regular fix. Here comes Thundering. So it adds swirlies everywhere. It puts a debuff on you. And it gives you a indicator above your head. Here, stop running away from me. And then, so the whole idea is when you have the debuff, you get a damage buff. But if you don't get rid of it after the 15 seconds it lasts, and you get rid of it by touching someone as the opposite debuff as you, you get stunned and it deals a whole bunch of damage. Which, the whole idea, it just feels like I said, a glorified other effects. So you have to deal with, so we have Volcanic and Sanguine, which is usually the easiest affixes to deal with. Volcanic, Sanguine weeks feel really free. But then when you have Volcanic, Sanguine, plus Thundering, which that's not really a hard combination. But on, like, last week was Grievous, Explosive, and Thundering. Plus you're trying to deal with all the crap the trash packs are doing, or all the crap the boss is trying to do. And then you're trying to run around with your chicken with your head cut off, trying to get rid of your Thundering. And why the hell did they take the Thundering indicator above your head from beta, which was super easy to tell what color you had? And they changed it to live, and it looks more stylish. I'll give them that. The debuff looked very basic on beta, but I remember when I ran my first plus 10 or higher, and the debuff appeared above my head, and after doing them in beta so long, I have no idea what color I have. I can't easily see all the colors above my... I have no idea why I died here on this boss fight. I think I got a debuff on me. I don't know if I was doing something wrong. This boss fight is probably the easiest boss fight in any Mythic Plus dungeon, but it's so easy I'm not really sure what's going on. That's on me. Someone can try to tell me in the comments what I did wrong. Was I attacking the mob that had the shield on it? Was that a thing? I don't know. By the way, Volcanic is really annoying when you're basically the only range and your big spender to deal single target damage causes you to stand still and channel. I learned that really, really bad in this dungeon. But anyways, so going back to the idea of I can't tell the thundering, and I'm sure some people are like, "Oh, I could tell what thundering looked like. You need the thundering icons look like. Get good, noob." It kind of just goes back to the thing where a lot of the debuffs that are thrown on the ground, the swirlies, the frontals, are kind of hard to see. And goddamn, does Blizzard like to make the swirlies on the ground you have to dodge the same color as the ground. Or like the whole dungeon's red, so all the mobs are throwing out red stuff that you have to avoid. It's just the visual like fidelity. I don't know if that's the right way to put it. Of like things you have to dodge. Sometimes it's just hard. It's just like mental overload. So that's another problem I have with Mythic Plus dungeons right now. It's just so hard to see, and you see everyone has the weak aura that makes you say the symbol above your head so everyone can see clearly where you are and what debuff you have. Of course, you don't need it, and if someone was just standing outside the group, I can easily see what debuff they have. But if my whole group's melee, they're in melee. I have to have good add-ons to show me the health bars and what they're casting, which puts more crap on my screen. And then trying to figure out where they are in that mess of as they're throwing down Sanguine, and then there's the Paladin's Consecrate on the ground. And I'm supposed to run in there and try to figure out what's above their head. And let's get to my next rant of Mythic Plus this season. The hardest to fix in the game is the goddamn trees that are in the way in every dungeon. Like, goddamn. You have to pull your camera. Goddamn it. I hate this corner. I goddamn hate this corner in this dungeon. I'm just, and it's not just this dungeon. Court of Stars has trees in the way. I know there's a couple other dungeons, but this is the worst offender by far. Blizzard needs to implement the system that if there's shit between your character model and the camera, that it just doesn't block your view. If you're gonna put so much shit on the ground and frontals and things I need to watch out for, please do not put trees in the way and let me goddamn trees. Let me see what's going on. So yeah, that's how I feel about Mythic Plus right now. This is week 3. People are starting to finally get some decent gear, and they finally gave us easy fixes. They gave us like the two, and they're probably not even the two hardest to fix combinations, but they were definitely hard the first 2 weeks. I was not having fun the first couple weeks running Mythic Plus. It's just annoying. So I'm trying to think of other stuff to talk about Mythic Plus, or at least Dragonflight in general. I will say that I love the raid in Dragonflight. The new raid is awesome. Sure, for the most part, you're just in a giant cave for the most part. So like interior wise, it's just like we're running through a cave. But like the boss fights are interesting. Razageth itself as the final boss, even though once again it's like another like 12 to 15 minute marathon final boss, at least it's interesting. The fight is broken up into different phases that feel different, and all the phases are pretty fun. Haven't done anything on Mythic. I haven't gotten super deep into Heroic, but it doesn't seem that much harder. I think this Vault of the Incarnate is going to go down as a pretty good raid overall. But so let's complain about Mythic Plus some more. I feel like they definitely need to rethink Fort and Tyrannical, because even though Fortified in Dragonflight is actually scary, Tyrannical still sucks way more than Fortified. It just makes the bosses have too much health. The damage is just insane. But let's think of ways to, let's not just say, oh, get rid of it, it's bad. Let's try to come up with ideas of how to change it. So right now in its current, I don't remember the exact numbers off my head, but Tyrannical or Fortified just adds like plus 25% HP and damage to either all the trash packs or all the bosses. Instead of just a big chunk of like plus 25%, why doesn't Fort in Tyrannical just make the bosses be like two key levels higher? Instead of a huge jump, they just feel like if you're in a 10 and it's a Tyrannical week, the bosses will feel like they're on a plus 12. Or if that's not high enough for you, Blizzard, make them feel like they're on a plus 13 or 14. Instead of a huge chunk of plus 25%. By the way, here's this strat that this tank told us about this boss. If you tank the boss at the bottom of the stairs, and then you stand on the top of the stairs, the waves don't go to the top of the stairs. So if me as a range, I could just stand up here and never move. For the most part, you never really have to move on this boss anyways as a range. But I don't have to move now at all, which is actually pretty awesome, and it's probably a bug Blizzard's going to fix at some point in time. So anyways, back to how Tyrannical and Fortified sucks. So yeah, there's one idea. Instead of just making this big plus 25%, just make them so they're like, oh, if we're on a plus 10 and it's a Fortified, it's like all the trash mobs are in a plus 12. They're just a little bit harder. Not insanely harder. Another idea I had was, instead of Fort and Tyrannical having HP boost and damage boost, it's only on, if it's a Fortified week, only the trash packs have the affixes turned on. And then you don't have to worry about the affixes for bosses outside of the seasonal affix. And then switch it around for Tyrannical. It's on Tyrannical weeks, only the affixes are turned on for the Tyrannical bosses. And so forth. Just ideas. Just something needs to change, and it's not going to happen in Dragonflight, but I hope by the time the next expansion comes by, they do some kind of changes to Mythic Plus. Because Mythic Plus has been pretty much the same since Legion. This is now the 4th expansion with Mythic Plus being about the same as it was in Legion. There's been some changes. They've taken out affixes, added new fixes, but it's starting to get old. We need a refresh of it. I like the idea of the dungeons getting harder and harder, but the base idea of it is just not. It needs a new fresh coat of paint, Blizzard, and I hope that comes in the next expansion. So, let's just talk about. Oh, I just got deleted there. Let's just talk about Devastation Invokers really briefly. I might make a video in the future talking about how to play them. But the too long didn't read is they have some neat utility. They bring Lust, which is always good. You're a Lust class. They have really, really good. They are better at AoEing than single target by far. Let's just put it out there. Like, they can AoE like no one's business, but when it comes to single target, they're not that great. And I was doing some really good AoEing there until I didn't realize I was standing in front of the breath. And I just liked. I do like. I still think how they look in dragon form is. I don't want to say stupid, but it looks stupid, guys. Right? Can we all agree that they just look kind of stupid in their dragon forms? Um, it still looks funny, but I know WoW has always have funny looking classes. We have Taurens, we have Goblins, we have Volperas, um, we have Dwarves, we have Goblins. So there really shouldn't be an argument about these look stupid when we've always had stupid looking classes. But I do think they look really good in their humanoid forms. Like, I wish I could look like my humanoid form in battle instead of seeing this lanky looking dragon while I'm in combat that I can't see my stupid gear on. If you're going to turn me into a naked dragon, at least let me put on pants and shoulder pads and crap, Blizzard. Seriously, why not? But yeah, so I do think all around Dragonflight has been fun. The new class has been fun. They're not like really invokers are not overpowered, but they're pretty good. I like the setting of the new expansion. It seems like we're going towards some kind of the story is gonna go towards the Titans being bad. I don't know. I like the idea that I don't know where the story is going to. I feel like in the end, it's still going to. Everyone complained like the last few expansions are going to be like, oh no, if we don't stop the bad guy, the whole universe is in jeopardy. And also the last few expansions have been about, oh no, Azeroth is being attacked either by the Legion or N'Zoth or the Jailer. So I hope that the final twist of this expansion is not, oh no, Azeroth's World Soul is in trouble again for the fourth time in a row. But we really don't know where the ending of the expansion is going. There's a lot of talk about the Titans not being as great. There's talk about old god stuff still, even though we thought we defeated all the old gods at the end of BFA. So where more old god stuff coming from? There's all the stuff with Murzon and Norzdamu. Is he going to be the final boss? Is the final raid going to deal with time travel? Is Chromie going to turn evil? So yeah. But yeah, here's a video about all my current thoughts of everything Dragonflight related. Overall, I mean, I also like that I didn't feel like I had to hardcore grind the first couple weeks. Because I felt like I was falling behind on the borrowed power system. I couldn't get the first week of Dragonflight off from work. I had the second week off, and I used that to catch up to everyone else who had the first week off. But I didn't feel like I was behind because I didn't hardcore it the first week. By the way, this boss sucks. I get the idea they add his debuff being like 2 debuffs go out and the healer has to dispel one and the other person's got to hold on to their pants, but it just hurts too much. So yeah, the tuning of some of the Mythic Plus dungeons are kind of some there's really hard ones like Temple of the Jade Serpent and Ruby Life Pools. They're super hard, and then you have Shadow Moon Burial Grounds, which is super easy. There's always that discrepancy, and then there's the tree boss in Academy, which is just his own nightmare fuel. But okay, there's just all my. Hopefully, I can start making videos more regularly again. Sadly, they're going to be more from a DPS perspective because I'm not really playing a healer right now, but we'll see where this adventure takes us in Dragonflight. Thanks everyone for watching. See you next time.